he went there also. NJ was, incredible. We share, city. He was the man I was.
Sammy Sosa is 57 now, and most mornings begin the same way. He wakes before the sun fully rises, not because he needs to, but because his body doesn't give him much choice anymore. The stiffness settles in first, then the ache, the reminder that time never forgets what a life has demanded from it. From the balcony of his Miami home, he watches the sky slowly change color, the ocean stretching out in quiet indifference. There are no cameras here, no crowds, just the sound of wind and distant traffic, and the memories that arrive uninvited. Somewhere inside the house, an old television plays highlights on low volume. A younger man flashes across the screen, smiling wide, bat raised high, crowd roaring like a single living thing. That man feels both familiar and impossibly distant. America once knew him as Sammy Sosa. Now, most days, he is simply a man learning how to live with what remains. There was a time when his presence could stop the country in its tracks. In the summer of 1998, every at-bat felt like an event, every swing a shared heartbeat. He hit 66 home runs that year, won an MVP, and helped revive a sport that had lost its way after the strike. Baseball had been wounded, and people were angry, disconnected, tired of believing. Then this smiling kid from the Dominican Republic stepped into the spotlight, kissed 2 fingers, pointed to the sky, and swung with everything he had. Wrigley Field shook, flags waved, strangers hugged. For a few months, the country remembered how to feel joy together. The media called him the man who saved baseball. Kids wore number 21. Adults brought American flags to the park. His story fit perfectly into the idea America wanted to believe about itself, that no matter where you start, greatness is possible. But time is never sentimental. It doesn't preserve moments just because they mattered. It moves forward, collecting its price slowly, then all at once. Nearly 3 decades later, the applause has faded into something quieter, heavier. Sammy's face has changed. His body carries the residue of years spent swinging as hard as a human being can. Online, his image has been twisted into jokes, his legacy flattened into controversy, his name spoken less with curiosity than with discomfort. The same press that once chased him now barely mentions him at all. He understands this now. Fame isn't something you own, it's something that borrows you, then leaves when it's finished. Long before the noise, before the flags and headlines, there was only a boy who wanted to be noticed. Sammy was born in San Pedro de Macorís, a coastal town where life moved to the rhythm of survival. The house he grew up in had no electricity. At night, his mother lit candles and stitched clothes by hand, hoping there would be enough work the next day. When Sammy was 6, his father died suddenly, and whatever sense of safety the family had collapsed with him. His mother was left to raise 7 children alone. Hunger became routine. Childhood shortened. Responsibility arrived early and stayed. In Consuelo, no one waited for opportunities. You created them or went without. Sammy shined shoes along dusty roads, washed cars under the sun, collected cans, carried water for people who rarely learned his name. At night, he slept on cold floors, eating rice mixed with salt water, dreaming of a baseball glove he knew was out of reach. The world didn't see him, didn't care to. But baseball did, or at least the idea of it did. His first bat was a broken broomstick, his first ball a sock stuffed with rags. He played in empty lots where dust hung in the air and the sea wind cut across the field. He didn't swing for fun, he swung to announce himself, to say in the only language he had that he existed. His mother used to tell him to swing harder than his fear. Those words followed him everywhere, they became instinct. Years later, people would ask why he always swung with such force, why he never seemed to hold anything back. He never gave them the full answer. The truth was simple and uncomfortable. In his world, hesitation meant disappearing. When he signed his first professional contract as a teenager, the paper shook in his hands. It wasn't just a job, it was a doorway. Leaving home felt unreal. His mother slipped a rosary into his pocket and told him not to forget where he came from. America was louder, colder, and far less patient than he expected. He didn't speak the language well. Coaches laughed at his accent. Teammates dismissed him as raw and reckless. He was traded, then traded again, like a tool no one was sure how to use. He kept his head down, let his work speak, stayed late, practiced until his hands bled, cleaned up when others left. He learned that visibility wasn't given, it had to be forced. Chicago was where the cold really set in, not just in the weather, but in the loneliness. He lived alone, practiced alone, fought doubt in silence. There were nights when quitting felt easier than continuing, when going home seemed like peace. But then he'd see a poster, a full stadium, a version of life he wasn't done chasing yet. He didn't believe he was meant to be a star. He believed he was meant to endure. By 1998, baseball was desperate. The strike had fractured trust. Fans were gone. The sport needed something pure enough to cut through the cynicism. No one expected Sammy Sosa to be the answer. Mark McGwire had the numbers, the build, the narrative. Sammy had something else, a story people could feel. When the home run race began, it became more than statistics. It became theater. Every night, 2 names chased history. Bars filled. Living rooms went quiet. The crack of the bat meant hope again. Sammy's rituals became familiar. The kiss, the point to the sky, the flag. He didn't explain it. He didn't need to. People understood what they wanted to understand. An immigrant saying thank you. A kid from nothing reminding a tired country that belief still mattered. When the season ended, he had 66 home runs and an MVP. More importantly, he had given people something they didn't know they were missing, a reason to care. But love like that is conditional. It lasts only as long as the performance does. The pressure grew. Expectations hardened. Every swing became a test. And when the bat broke in 2003, exposing cork, the story changed instantly. Context vanished. The grace disappeared. One moment erased years. The same fans who had lifted him went quiet. Silence is louder than boos. It tells you exactly where you stand. Congressional hearings followed. Cameras framed him as a problem to be solved rather than a person to be understood. He answered through a translator, voice steady, eyes tired. Whether people believed him no longer mattered. He had become something else, a symbol of discomfort. And America is quick to discard what complicates the story it prefers to tell. When he left Chicago, there was no farewell, no ceremony, just distance. The city that once embraced him closed its doors without explanation. In Miami, he tried to find rest. His body wouldn't let him. Years of swinging took their toll. His back seized, his shoulders burned. Even a sneeze tore muscle and became a punchline. The laughter hurt more than the injury. It told him something essential had shifted. He was no longer protected by nostalgia. When his appearance changed due to medical treatment, the internet pounced. Memes replaced empathy. Jokes replaced curiosity. He didn't argue, didn't explain. He withdrew. His children noticed. One day his son asked why people laughed. Sammy didn't answer. Some things don't have explanations that make sense to a child. Over time, the invitations stopped. The Hall of Fame votes stalled. Tribute videos erased him. History moved forward without mentioning his name. Oblivion arrived quietly, disguised as order. In the Dominican Republic, he was still celebrated. In America, he became an omission. Now, at 57, he no longer chases reconciliation. He wakes up, moves slowly, finds joy in teaching his son how to hold a bat, how to miss, how to try again. He builds fields for kids who remind him of himself. He funds opportunities instead of headlines. When asked about legacy, he says he hopes people remember how he made them feel. At night, he stands on the balcony and watches the sun disappear. Sometimes he hears echoes, not clearly, not always, just enough to remember. He doesn't regret the swings. He regrets how quickly love can turn into distance, how easily a nation forgets the people who carried it through its emptiest moments. He is no longer the man who saved baseball. He doesn't need to be. He is a father, a survivor, a former boy who once refused to disappear. And maybe that is enough. Because heroes don't always fade. Sometimes we just stop listening when their story becomes uncomfortable. If you ever believed one swing could bring people together, remember Sammy Sosa. Not as a headline, not as a controversy, but as a human being who gave everything he had for one summer of shared belief.